Last time on Uncle Benny's Garage.
The red line's about to blow!
That's not a good Marty impression. I know. All right, where did we leave off last time? I know, we made this. Wait. Yeah, we made the model. I didn't make the model, I bought the model. And then I altered the model to fit train tracks. And then we added some detail and some stuff inside, and we're really happy with it. Next we gotta do the people. Now, I think we've well established I am not a great detail painter, like on these little figurines and stuff. And so this isn't like a tutorial on how to paint. I want to focus more on how I altered them to look more like what I need them to look like. And some of the materials and stuff I did there. I tried some new stuff. I'm happy with the way they turned out. If you want like really good painting, like model train type stuff, look up Thunder Mesa Studios. It's a guy in Arizona, and he's really good. You can tell he's like a real artist. He does fantastic like desert scenery and stuff. As far as I'm going, we're gonna do the people, and let's see, where do we start? We got the people. Like I said before, these are like a resin cast people. And if they were plastic, they'd be a little easier to mess with, but I think we'll still get okay. Just like the car, I downloaded some pictures of what the characters look like. This is going to be Marty in the car. Got him because he's already sitting sideways. So we'll put like a radio in his hand. He'll be like, "Hey, Doc, Doc." And then we got Clara, and she'll be in the train. There's Clara. Can you see Clara? And she should be pretty easy. Maybe we'll put her arm out. We got to get rid of her hat because she's not wearing a hat. And then we'll repaint her dress and stuff. And then we got Doc Brown. Doc Brown's going to be hanging on the side of the train. We can fix his feet. We can get him hanging on the train. I might turn his head. And again, he's going to lose his hat because his hair is blowing in the wind. And he gets a longer trench coat. And then we'll get him painted up. Marty's wearing, like, he's got that poncho thing going on and like a different shirt and stuff, and that should be okay to do. To do that, I had two options. I had an idea to use, so I have this 3D printing pen. It takes a 3D filament and you can kind of like draw stuff with it. I thought about using that to kind of fill in like where I wanted to, say, extend the coat or something, and then carve it down from there out of the plastic. Then guy from work was raving about this stuff. It's for modeling and stuff. It's a 2-part like epoxy putty. He says it's got a really long work time, and you sculpt with it, and then it dries overnight. You don't have to bake it or anything, I don't think, and it just eventually hardens. But he said it's got a long work time and whatnot. So I think I'm going to try this. Oops. Broke off his whole hand. Okay. Balloon! So we're grinding off his hat because Marty has just hair. He has just, I mean, it's Michael J. Fox hair. It's Michael J. Fox in any role, Michael J. Fox hair. It was almost Eric Stoltz hair, but it's Michael J. Fox hair. Marty. Looks a little bald at the moment, but he's okay. Let's see. Now we need... All right, new and improved Marty. He's gonna have the poncho on. He's wearing a poncho. He took his cowboy hat off when he got in the car. But he's wearing a poncho. Hey, if you're enjoying this video at all, give us a like, subscribe if you want to. Thanks a lot. I got this 3D pen. It was a gift a long time ago, and it's a cool thing. I've been trying to come up with more ways or reasons to use it for stuff in my head, and I think this is a good one. We might have to let it heat up. Alright, so it's got a button for pushing the filament out, and then it's got a little retraction button too. It's got how fast it pushes out, and then there's a little temperature setting. And you get a little technique for how much you want to mush it out and do stuff with it. It looks like it's going on real globby, but it sands down, it files down nice, and it's plastic. It's gonna do well if it gets outside, or I don't know, whatever. But I'm liking it. I'm liking this little use for it. Things are coming together, they really are. But now I gotta go to work. I like my job, but it gets in the way of all this. So it's sanded down. Now I'm just picking out some fine little details, some wrinkles. He's got the neckerchief, and then he's got the blankety looking poncho thing, you know, the one where he hides the stove front in it when he gets shot and that kind of thing. He's still wearing it when he gets in the thing. I think he puts his white tennis shoes back on when he gets in the car to go home. I can't remember, but I think that's what it is, and that's what I'm going to have him in either way. So I'm right or wrong, he might be wearing his tennis shoes. Doc Brown fell off his toilet hanging a clock in 1955, woke up, invented the flux capacitor. Doc Brown, tall guy with big brown puppy dog eyes. The figure we started with, I think, was supposed to be laying down. That's why his toes are curled up. So the first thing we got to do is cut those toes off and glue them back straight like normal feet. The gap left in there, because we want it strong, I filled in with JB Weld epoxy, so we got the strength there, and then I smoothed over that with some of the molding putty. Then we trimmed up around his pant cuffs and a little bit around his belt line to make his clothes look not so hobo. And then, and then we had to cut his arm and raise it up a little bit to fix how he is on the train. We fixed his shoes. We made his hair a little bit. Doc Brown, Christopher Lloyd's hairline is a weird one, because in your mind you picture it as he's bald and then he's just got the Albert Einstein hair. But when you look at a picture, you realize, it's a little receded, but he's got a real hairline. It's thin, but it's there, and then he's got, how much fluff is actually there versus what you perceive it, trying to get his face shape right. So that's tough. But then we worked his vest in, and we eventually do his coat to where it looks good. Jump in a little bit into Clara because I didn't have the camera rolling when I started her. So the same thing, we got to grind off her hat because she just has her hair when she's on the train. It blows off, her hat blows off when she's on the horse or something like that. And then the figurine looks like she's got like a jacket and a skirt kind of a thing going on. But in the movie, she's wearing a purple dress. It's like velvety in the front and it's got like frufles like in the back. Little train sort of thing. Train, get it? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna smooth it out. We'll try and make it look like she still has a figure, you know, because she's a handsome woman. We'll move her arm up, probably like she's like, hey, and go from there. And then we'll try and do her hair. We'll get the foofles in there. We'll fill it all back in. I don't know what kind of shoes she's wearing. I want to say they're black, but in the Old West, they're probably like just like brown womany shoes kind of a thing. I'll look up a picture. All right, for anyone paying attention, this is the Army Painter Green Stuff epoxy. It's kind of like a plumber's epoxy, except it doesn't smell. It doesn't stink at all when you use it. So this putty, you take equal parts, you mush it up until the blue and the yellow become a consistent green. There you go. And then it's activated, and then you got so long to use it. After sitting around staring at Clara's butt for a while, I went ahead and I messed with the bottom of her dress a little bit so it looks like it's blowing. Add a little bit more back here and I'll shape that up. And I put some creases down the front so that it adds a little movement. Yeah, I think that's better lines. And she's showing her ankles now. A little hussy. She's like, hey, Emmett, I love you. Oh yeah, maybe this isn't the best time for that. But I love you, Emmett. I came to tell you I love you. Yeah, I think I know why you're still single. Okay, we're gonna let these dry. Boom, boom, boom. And then I can touch them up. I still gotta do Doc's trench coat. Emmett, Clara, Emmett, Clara. I don't do a good Doc. I don't do a good Doc impression. I can't. I just can't. Doc here, because his coat is so thin, it's hard to sculpt and push on because this stuff isn't super flexible. So I think I'm going to let it harden the way it is, and then I can sand it and use some other types of filler to smooth it out and work on it that way. Otherwise, it's just too much of a battle trying to do it. I keep messing it up. Just gonna there we go. We let that dry, and I think the next coat is gonna cover really well. Stay. All right, we are back. I don't know why I thought I'd get all this done in a week. This past week, the F1 races have been here in Vegas, and they're a terror on the town. Everybody hates them. Traffic. My work schedule was messed up. I had to go in early. Oh, I don't know how people do it. So I don't remember where I was at. I think I got most of the way done on Doc Brown here. So one thing I did was I sculpted his trench coat out of the green stuff putty. I was having some issues with it though. It starts off soft. Maybe it's just too chilly out here, but it's really hard. And then you mix it up, and it looks consistent green and ready to use. But then after it hardens, and I would sand it down, I would find like patches of like blue and yellow and stuff on the inside, like it wasn't mixed good, or little hard spots. And I don't know, I was having issues with it. One thing I did try was I went and got this Bondo brand glazing and spot putty. Comes out really smooth from the tube, and also one of the teachers at the college who teaches a 3D printing course, they use this on a lot of 3D prints, cover up print lines and lines where they got to glue parts together. A friend of mine also mixes it 50-50 with acetone and sprays it through an airbrush as like a sandable primer, and he says it's fantastic. So I got some of that. I smeared it on here, and I haven't sanded that down yet. One thing though I noticed, so the back of the trench coat, it's going to have like a slit halfway up the back. And I didn't put that slit in here, and I think that's why it looks weird. It looks like an X-Men kind of a cape. So I need to add that somehow without making it look too weird. I also dropped him before, and I lost one of his hands. So I got to fix his hand, but that's okay because I wanted to put like a little radio in it because he's talking to Marty on the radios. That's where we're at. That's where I'm going to try and start from. I think what I need to do is clean up a little bit here, though. I got a mess going. And so even after it's dry, with a little acetone on the paintbrush, you can go back and smooth out a little bit more of this filler putty. It's really pretty, what's the right word? Pretty, I don't know, usable. And it sands super easy. fill this in just a little bit back this way, and then I'm going to make this side curl up a little bit, kind of like here. So then you got both halves, but I'll try and make this look a little smoother here so it's not just a giant rip in his coat. Honestly, for this, I think instead of sculpting, I want to go back to the pen. This seam keeps cracking right here because his coat has a little bit of a flex to it, and whenever I drop him or handle him too much, I'm afraid it's going to keep coming back there. So I'm using the hard plastic from the 3D pen to reinforce it. Okay, so it's been like a week since I was able to do any of this stuff. My work schedule changed because the show's dark and I've been going in earlier. It's just one of those things. Sorry this is taking so long. So I gotta figure out, remember where I left off. Okay, so we got Clara. I think Clara, her face is still a little goofy, but there's a focus. But you know what? She's pretty good for now. Marty, same thing. I think I'm gonna leave him for now. Doc, I think it's turned out really well. I had to carve him a new hand. The CNC's going back there. You probably hear it. This might not even be usable. I don't know. So I gotta paint his hand. So I gotta paint his hand. He's holding a little radio, and I gotta put a little antenna in it. Boom. And we'll see from there. Where is the super glue? Where's the super glue? Where's the super glue? Where's the super glue? I left it inside. Right back. The only black paint I have is this high heat stuff. We'll try it anyway. Ooh, haven't played this one in a while. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your painting. Shake your painting. Oh, shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your painting. Shake your painting. You can do the swirl. Can do the upside down swirl. Can do the back and forth. Can do the Ramba Samba band. Ow. Shake it till your armpit sweats. Alright, it's chilly out here, so we're gonna bring these inside. So they'll dry up overnight, nice and hardness. I have no hands, hold on. So initially, I thought that these little guys with the magnets in the feet were going to stand on some little sticky magnets that I had, and I was like, oh man, magnet on magnet, that's going to be phenomenal. But for some reason, they don't. Maybe it's because these are little manufactured cheap things, and it doesn't matter what side you're on or where on the magnet. They only stick a little bit. They stick much better on actual metal. So instead of putting a little sticky magnet on the train, I'm going to do these metal things. So I just took a piece of sheet metal that I had, cut them out, shaped them down a little bit, and now they are going to go on the train, because as I mentioned before, I don't want to permanently alter this engine. If I do a dedicated Back to the Future engine, then one, it needs to be the style of the engine in the movie. It had a bigger smokestack. It was, so this is a 460, just like the wheel pattern. I think the one in the movie was like a 242-ish sort of. There was 6 big wheels, but there was 4 of them, and then there was like a big space, and then the other 2. I do know that the one they used in the movie is in a museum somewhere in California, at like a railroad museum. Take a little trip out there to see it. That'd be a fun adventure. Anyway, so I got these pieces of metal, and I'm just going to glue them to the engine. While we're waiting, all right, the front of the engine, where it's pushing the DeLorean down the train tracks. In the movie, there's like a crate, and it's holding the tires that they took off the DeLorean, kind of like a bumper, and they use that to push the car. I made a crate. I made a couple different ones. This one's, I don't know, kind of cheesy. I cut it down a bunch of times. This is a little clip thing. It was because it would go on there and then it would clip down and it'd stick all the tires in there. I tried it a couple different ways, and I just hate the look of it. It's just weird, and I know it's more what it was in the movie. They don't focus on it too much in the movie, except for maybe the faraway shots. So I made a decision. I took the tires and I printed this little cap for the middle to kind of cover them up. That's what the cap looks like. It just goes in there and makes a thing. So then the tires just go on the front coupler here and this, and then with the little groove in the back, it kind of locks down on there pretty well. And then I put a little fork up here that holds it up against the thing, and it can't go nowhere. And that's the creative difference I did, just because I think it's a little cleaner look than going the authentic way, which would have been to make this weird crate that somehow goes on the front. And then the little rubber of the tires actually bumpers against the car, which, you know, is what it's supposed to do anyway. So enough of that. Let's see if these are tacky. Miss Clara. I would have liked to have her here in the back, but there's not a good platform back here because there's a little baby wall, like right here on the thing. Would have been, yay! Oh my God, Emmett, Emmett, I love you so much, Emmett. So on our little magnet here, we got Clara. And we got Emmett. He's gonna be here. Oh, I don't know what's happening around me. All right, and check it. They're on there pretty good. And they just come off. Boom. Right. Clara's wearing her purple dress. She's waving hello. All right. She's got her furfles in the back. Her dress is waving. She's wearing her brown, womany, old-timey boots. She's got her hair blowing in the wind. She's got little earrings on. Her makeup is a little bit of a mess, but she just rode a horseback and jumped on a train, and she's a school teacher, so we'll forgive her for that. Second up, we got Doc Brown. Doc Brown is wearing mostly brown. He's got his walkie-talkie. He's got his Doc Brown hair waving in the wind. He's got his trench coat blowing by. All right. He's holding on to the train for dear life. Lastly but not leastly, we have Marty McFly. Marty McFly is sitting in the car. He doesn't have magnets on his feet because he's in a car. He is wearing his poncho and his little do-rag. He's got his Michael J. Fox hair going on. He's got his walkie-talkie and his futuristic white tennis shoes sitting there. And then Marty gets accessorized with a hoverboard so he can be cool back home. That's what Marty looks like. Marty looks kind of scared. You know, if I ever become a better painter, maybe I'll revisit. Okay, so keep in mind that all those shots are like 3 inches in front of the camera. You see every scratch, every flaw. You know what? From 1.5 feet away, these things look awesome. I like the texture of his coat and the shading of the costumes, and I'm really, really pleased with how they came out. If I was a better painter, yeah, they'd be a little bit better, but I'm showing you up close just because. I mean, you got to go with what you got here, right? All right, let's talk about the train a little bit. First of all, I had an issue when I'm running it. It'll go around, time a couple times and be fine. And then hits one of the corners, what happens is the little tires or the little cowcatcher sticking off the front of the engine, it sticks out so far that it goes all the way to the side of the car. And then when it comes back, it kind of pushes over on the little on the ejector black smoke things. So my quick temporary fix was put this little just sticky tape little piece of metal on the back to make the bumper wider. Obviously this is not a permanent fix, but it's what I did so I could get out here and run it and be happy. I also put a little piece of metal right on the front, right on the front of the train, and then the two rub against each other fine in the corners. Now if I had done the crate with the tires, it would have even been worse because that's got square corners on it. The tires were at least round, and that kind of worked, but then because the cow catcher goes below the car, just it wasn't good enough because the front hitch still catches on the back of the car. I'll fix that. I'll figure out something that looks good and everything. So there's that. If you've done this, if you've got a solution for that, let me know what it is, and I'll see what I can do. Other than that, it's fantastic. I was so happy. I got a Back to the Future train. I'm super excited. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna play trains. Cheers.
Marty, maybe in 1985, plutonium is available in any corner drugstore, but in 1955, it's a little hard to come by.
No.